Why nobody wants to visit Las Vegas.
Things have changed dramatically in recent years. Las Vegas is definitely not what it used to be, and you just might be surprised at how bad the situation has gotten. After years of record visitor numbers and casino profits, tourism is finally falling. Now you might be thinking, but Jacob, haven't you been promoting Las Vegas for over a decade? Don't you want people to come here and visit? Absolutely. And in that time, I have developed a reputation for telling people about both the good and the bad about the place that I love. We're gonna dive into this disaster that has hit Las Vegas, but don't worry, because I'm also gonna show you how you can benefit from this mess. One of the Las Vegas Strip's most beloved cheap food spots closed forever in 2024. For years, this place represented everything that made Las Vegas affordable to people who cannot afford five-star dining at every single meal. Ocean One Bar and Grill was the kind of restaurant where families could eat here without breaking their vacation budget, and locals would recommend it to tourists looking for a cheap place to eat. They were well known for having every item on their lunch menu cost just $4.99, and you could get 3 cocktails for $10. The writing was on the wall when the prices started to climb in the months leading up to the closure. You can see that they wanted to keep their prices as low as possible, but they're struggling to survive in an atmosphere where pretty much everything costs more. This wasn't just the loss of one restaurant, it was the death of the cheapest good food that you could find at the center of the Las Vegas Strip. Now that a reliable, budget-friendly option is gone, it's just another sign that the Strip is pricing out the average visitor who made Vegas what it is. Something that started as just a small fee for hotel amenities has probably become the most hated aspect of visiting Las Vegas today. I remember doing a video back in 2018 on an article about how a $25 room in Las Vegas becomes a $65 room once you add in all of the taxes and fees. And at that time, $45 a night was the highest resort fee that you would find anywhere here on the Las Vegas Strip.
Oh, I was just in that one. The Luxor. When I was there, the resort fee was like $50 a night. On top of the room fee, or how much the room costs during each night, each day. So if it costs like what, $80 plus 50 per day plus another 20 for parking, adds up quick. The resort fee is what gets you.
So in the future, who knows where resort fees will go, where they're headed. I think as long as the economy's doing well, these places will continue to charge. If they can increase it, people are going to pay it. They're going to charge it. They're going to be doing that to make as much money as they can.
Well, fast forward to today, baby, and you know what we have right now on the Strip? We have over 30 individual hotels who charge.
Bellagio, Wynn, Paris Hotel. Yeah, damn. $50, 55. All right, it's not that bad. I thought some would be insane, like 80.
Charge $50 to $55 for the resort fee.
Can I see mine?
Per night.
Oh, I can't see the one I stayed at. But wow, all of them. Where else are you gonna go? All of them.
So now it's more like a $99 room turns into a $175 room. Because remember, you pay the $99 room price plus the 13.38% room tax on top of that price, plus you pay the $55 resort fee, plus you pay another 13.38% room tax on top of the resort fee. Why you're paying tax on top of a fee? Ask Uncle Sam. And to add insult to injury, some of the things that these hotels list that are included with your resort fee are laughable. Things like free local and domestic phone calls, free boarding pass printing, and access to the pool, but seasonal. So if you come during the winter time and the hotel pool is closed, you do not get a cheaper resort fee because it's closed. And the psychological impact of this for travelers really goes beyond money. It's about trust being broken before you even arrive, because your expenses have just exploded beyond what you budgeted for your vacation. And remember guys, no matter how much resort fees are, this is Las Vegas and we are in the desert, so there's a pretty good chance that no matter what, you're gonna wind up seeing roaches out here.
Whoa, what?
At some point. I don't think resort fees can get rid of
That's crazy. I didn't see any of them when I was there. Well, I was also pretty blasted that night.
that. For years, Vegas restaurants have added an extra 4 to 5% fee onto your food bill that most people don't even notice. And a big reason people don't notice is because the way it's displayed sometimes is kind of sneaky. So if you're gonna eat here at the center strip at a place like Alexa's, they have the menu here posted outside, you can see, but the glass is obviously a little dirty, but you gotta look down here at an angle to see where it says concession fee of 4.9% added to all checks. So if you look through the dirt and at an angle at the tiny print at the bottom.
That's scummy. You have to look at it from an angle. No one's gonna see that.
You can find it before you actually go inside and order your food. The good news about this though, is every person I've ever heard that has asked a restaurant to remove the CNF fee has had it removed because it adds zero extra value to your meal, so it's hard for them to actually justify keeping it on your bill.
These charges have become so common that experienced Vegas visitors now scan every receipt like they're investigating a crime scene. What makes this particularly annoying is how these fees are presented as legitimate business costs when they're really just profit boosters designed to inflate your bill. The practice is spread throughout the industry because most customers either don't notice the extra charges or don't have the energy to complain about them.
That's
You're already
crazy.
tired from walking around Vegas all day, and the last thing you want is a confrontation with restaurant staff over mysterious fees. Some people just choose to say, forget it. CNF charges, service fees, COVID recovery fees, fees and quote-unquote restaurant fees can add 4 to 5% to your meal cost on top of expected tips and taxes. The really crazy thing is that every time I've heard of someone asking to have this fee get waived if you ask the manager, is that they do, because they add zero actual value to your dining experience.
Wow.
The restaurants count on customers either overlooking, being too
COVID
shy,
fee.
or too tired to question these charges, so they keep adding them to every bill and hoping that no one notices.
If you've been visiting Las Vegas for years, you've probably noticed a change that's gradually taking place across many casino floors. There used to be plenty of table games like blackjack and craps all over the place.
There's definitely more slots. That's what I realized. Almost like, what, like 70%, 80%? No, all right, I'll say 70% of the floor is slots. Because it's pure profit, you could set it to when it's going to pay you out. You have no control over that. They can set it to take in 90,000 and pay out fucking 10,000. Yeah, it's like out of 100,000, they profit 90,000 and they only spit out 100 or 10,000. So you really can't control that. That's pure profit for the casino.
But as the years have progressed, those table games have been removed and they have been replaced by seemingly endless banks of more and more slot machines.
Look at that.
This isn't just about efficiency for space. It's about completely changing the odds in favor of the house.
Look
Table
at that.
Games like blackjack, craps, and baccarat typically have a house edge under 2% when played correctly, which gives players a better chance to win. But penny slots often give casinos around a 10% advantage, meaning they keep $10 out of every $100 played over the
It's definitely way more than that. They can set it to whatever they want.
long term.
But they don't want to set it too high where no one plays them. They got to set it. I mean, 10% is pretty good already. Imagine making 10% every time someone puts in money. You know how many people go to Vegas?
Vegas doesn't want you to win like you used to. We can even look at over 20 years worth of data to see that Vegas casinos have been gradually making slot machines pay out less and less to players so that they can keep even more of your money. From 2004 to 2024, strip casinos increase how much they are taking from every dollar you bet by 24%, while downtown
Wow.
casinos during the same time increase how much they are taking from players by 45%. So when you
That's insane. Look at 2004. All right, this graph is a little skewed. It starts at 6, but it ends up 8.5. Hold percentage. Dude, that's insane. Back then, it's a whole 45% easier way to win, or like more hold percentage. Like, okay, what does that mean? That means 45% more that they pay you, opposed to now that where they keep 45% more.
You hear people talk about how much more generous Vegas used to be, you can use these
Wow.
slot hold percentages as proof. Aside from the fact that casinos make more money with slots than table games, slot machines also don't call in sick for work, they don't need to take lunch breaks, they don't get overtime pay, they don't receive health benefits, and they don't file complaints. These are all things that help casinos save money on top of now winning more money. So by removing tables and adding more slots, casinos guarantee themselves much higher profits from the same amount of floor space. The result is fewer opportunities for knowledgeable players to get decent odds and more mindless button pushing that drains bankrolls faster than ever.
Many experienced players call what you see right behind me the biggest ripoff in modern casino history. And a lot of casual players have no idea that every time they sit down at this game, that they are getting mathematically screwed. This single rule change has largely altered the most popular table game in Las Vegas,
No
and the
way.
majority of players don't even notice.
The deception is particularly cruel because these rigged games look identical to fair blackjack tables from a distance, and not all dealers explain the difference unless you specifically ask. Traditional blackjack pays 3 to 2 when you get a natural 21. Meaning
Okay.
a $100 bet pays $150. But the strip is now filled with tables that only pay 6 to 5. So that same $100 blackjack only pays $120, stealing $30 from every natural you hit. And over the course of a gambling session, this difference can add up to hundreds of dollars in lost winnings.
That's crazy. Especially like that, or especially with blackjack, when the house has an edge and they lower your odds, the payout is different. The perceived value is different. I feel like that's what you call it. It's like if you risk, the house has an edge. If you risk more, you should get more payout. But in this case, it's like you risk the same, but you receive less of a payout. That means over the long term, you're always going to lose. There's no point in playing anymore. That's crazy. I didn't know all this existed.
The worst part is that these terrible games often sit right next to 3-2 tables, but the minimum bets are usually much higher on the fair games, pushing
Wow.
many players into the sucker bets.
So why do casinos keep doing this? The reason these ripoff games exist is very simple. Tourists keep playing them anyway. Casino executives have figured out that they can offer absolutely terrible odds and still fill seats as long as the games look familiar from a distance.
This creates a rather depressing cycle where customer ignorance feeds the corporate greed that so many people come to associate with the big casinos. And the problem has been gradually getting worse for years. The most frustrating part is watching smart people who are successful in other areas of life repeatedly make these costly mistakes without learning from them. A former casino employee at the Venetian once told me that when they introduced triple zero roulette in 2016, they expected nobody would play it because the odds were so terrible. But players flocked to those tables anyway because they didn't understand the difference between good and bad roulette games. A roulette dealer at one luxury property let me know that he even tells players up front that the company logo represents 000, basically admitting the deceptive tactics employed by the casinos, but people keep playing anyway. This proves that casinos can get away with offering terrible odds because most players simply don't understand what they're getting into.
Wow.
What used to be a problem mainly in some areas of downtown has now spread throughout the entire tourist corridor in ways that shock first-time visitors and long.
I've seen that everywhere. Everywhere. Some guy asked me for money. I'm like, my friend, if I had money, I wouldn't be walking here with you. I'd be in a car. I'd be on a bus. I'd be on whatever. He didn't know what to respond.
Time locals alike. The homeless population in the Vegas area has grown every single year since 2021. And it's had
Whoa, that's... Why did it decrease and then increase again? Wow. That's insane. Do they lose all their money? Do they gamble? Are they all degenerates?
a 56% increase in the last 3 years. And I myself have been inside a casino before where I'm standing
Clark, homeless, 20...
and they're talking or actually playing a slot machine and had someone come up to me
20%.
and then ask me for money. I know some of you have had the same thing when you come here to visit.
Exactly.
This situation has deteriorated to the point where it's destroying the fantasy escape that Vegas is supposed to provide for people on a vacation. This isn't just about people asking for money on the street anymore. It's direct interference with casino gaming that makes players feel uncomfortable and unsafe. It is now more common for homeless people to regularly enter casinos and even approach players at slot machines, creating an awkward and sometimes dangerous situation. Some incidents with homeless individuals inside Vegas casinos escalated to the point of making national news, like the man who set off an explosion at the Paris casino, causing $50,000 in damage. The man was later released with the condition that he stay out of trouble, but these are the kind of situations that make visitors feel like Vegas isn't the safe escape it used to be. And people approaching you while you're playing a slot machine to ask you for money is not what anyone wants on their vacation.
The tariffs that were put in place in early 2025 has many international tourists staying away from Las Vegas due to uncertainty.
This matters a lot because international tourists typically stay longer, gamble more, and spend more on shows and dining than domestic visitors. New trade policies have made traveling to the U.S. more expensive for foreign tourists, while Canadian airlines have reduced flights to Vegas as demand dropped. The economic concerns go beyond just Vegas, with inflation affecting travel costs nationwide and real estate markets slowing.
I feel like casinos have such huge power. Like, they have so much power. Like, the whole strip, it's run by casinos. They have... What's it called? They have escalators just outside. I'm like, what happens if it rains? What happens if it gets dirty? But no, there's people cleaning it all the time. Why? Because casinos make so much fucking money. They could just do whatever they want. But that's why I'm thinking, I'm like, how come they can't just solve the homeless problem? They can't just, you know, get them off the strip. They probably do something like that. I mean, they wouldn't. Obviously, they wouldn't help them, but just get them off the strip. That seems like something they would do.
Down in various parts of the country. And when people are worried about their jobs and their home values, Vegas vacations become an easy expense to cut from their budgets.
Major strip properties chose to lay off hundreds of employees as visitor numbers continue to drop month after month from what they used to be. These cuts represent more than just cost-saving measures. They're a clear sign that casino executives are proactively cutting costs.
Look at that. That's an escalator just outside in the open. They don't care if it rains. They don't care if it gets dirty. Look at how well maintained the street is, the sidewalk is. But then you look at New York, it's disgusting.
Because they are uncertain about the future of Las Vegas.
Fontainebleau cut numerous table games dealers in the first half of 2025,
Oh, Fontainebleau. I didn't even know that was one.
while other properties have eliminated entire departments like concierge services at MGM Grand, Park MGM, New York, Mandalay Bay, and Vdara. And although these employees are commonly told that the layoffs are just temporary,
Look at that. They hire these people just to go around on the street, mopping the street, cleaning the street, making it seem like a utopia. It seems like a huge mall, like a huge outdoor mall.
there's no guarantee that they will be called back to work at their old job. One off-strip casino manager told me that just a $1 minimum wage increase costs his property an extra $1 million annually in labor costs, which also makes it more difficult to offer customers the same value that they've been used to getting. When casinos can't fill rooms and gaming floors, they're forced to reduce staff to keep down their costs. But this can create a poor experience for the customers that are still visiting.
The hotels and casinos that can benefit most from the recent problems in Las Vegas are the North Strip properties like the Sahara and the Strat, the off-strip properties, and the downtown ones. These properties have kept their commitment to affordable gambling and reasonable prices for their customers, while many strip properties have gone crazy with fees and terrible odds.
Smart gamblers are starting to realize that significantly better deals exist just minutes away from the overpriced strip.
Oh, wow. I should have stayed there at the Rio. I was about to book that, but I'm like, dude, I'm booking the Pyramid. The Pyramid was cool, but next time I'm definitely going to Rio. Whenever the next time is. I don't know when I'm going back.
Strip properties that get most of the attention. The contrast in value has also become so dramatic that many experienced visitors never set foot on the Strip anymore except to see shows or eat at specific restaurants. Places like Ellis Island offer $5 craps and $5.32 blackjack.
Wow. $5.32. That's pretty good. Damn, no one's going to the Strip anymore. There was a bus driver. I was on the bus, and the bus driver's like, yeah, tourism is down 40%. Dude, 40% is not a small... It's not a small number. 40% is a pretty big number.
With table minimums that never increase, even when the casino is packed. South Point provides affordable gaming with a wide variety of options for players. The Plaza Casino has single zero roulette that is a 15 minimum during...
Wow, that's crazy. I always see them while I'm going past. I'm like, that one looks run down. I didn't know they were better at for gambling. Like lower minimums, better odds, cheaper food, cheaper housing, cheaper everything.
In the day and a $25 minimum at night. The Palms Casino began offering $5 3-2 blackjack and craps 24 hours a day in early 2025, directly targeting frustrated Strip visitors who are tired of feeling like they're getting ripped off. Many off-Strip properties especially benefit since they're already known for cheaper drinks, better gambling odds, and lower table minimums across the board. Some of these properties are experiencing increased business as Strip prices push more players their way, proving that there's still a market for honest value in Las Vegas.
The good news is that Las Vegas will always change with the market. Smart travelers are discovering that the recent changes in tourism actually creates opportunities to get better deals.
Where is this? Oh, this is like the downtown. I didn't get the chance
if you know where to look. The hospitality industries need to fill these hotel rooms, creates more and more opportunities and more discounts than we've seen in recent years. And despite all of this, Las Vegas still offers amazing value.
Dude, look at that. That looks insane. You know how much money goes into that? All these hotels, all these casinos, all the renovations, all the decorations. A lot of fucking money. And it still runs on gambling.
Per dollar compared to most other tourist destinations in the country. So even if the major Strip casinos still try to squeeze every dollar they can out of the tourists who come here, there are plenty of other affordable options for you to have fun all around the Vegas Valley.
Food and drinks in general are something that have become much more expensive in Vegas in recent years, and finding cheap options is getting difficult. But if you want an entire list for free that won't hurt your wallet, just click right here.
Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. I went there a while ago. It was still pretty packed. Like, hella people on the Strip. Just you can't even walk past them. It's just packed. But now, when I went like a couple weeks ago, dude, it was getting more empty. Like more spacious. You could walk. Fine. It's kind of like New York. Not like the extremely crowded areas, but all right. Like moderately crowded areas. It's kind of weird. When the bus driver told me tourism is down 40%, I was like, there's no way. 40%? That's a lot. That's like half. But yeah, apparently they've been increasing prices. So nobody wants to visit Las Vegas. That's crazy. Times do change. Like, well, not times. Like, if you overprice your services, if you overprice your whatever you have, the customers are going to find a better way, a better solution. They're going to go off the Strip. And that's insane. That'll be all for this video. Why no one wants to visit Las Vegas.